What's up, Blue Jay fans? Rob Scott of the Jay Talking Podcast back again with a little bit of a rant this time on today's game. Today's game was actually the first game I was not able to watch in full this season. So I'm not going to comment on the game itself so much. I want to talk specifically about John Schneider and Nate Pearson. So I consider one of my skills as an artist, it's always been something I've been good at, one of my skills is a pattern finder. I see patterns and I follow them and I can see typically where they go. And often within finding these patterns, it's not what's said that's always as important. Just as important is what's not being said. And what was not being said in this entire Seattle series is the name Nate Pearson. And to not see Nate Pearson in today's game, I found to be very disappointing, but very telling. I got a lot of information from that. Now, it's still early, so we're not going to jump on it and overreact yet. But Nate Pearson not appearing in this game told me a lot about John Schneider, how he thinks of him, and it makes me extremely worried that this great young arm, yes, unproven, but this great young arm is going to find himself back in the minors when Adam Cimber returns. I hope that's not the case. That would be an awful move, I think, for this roster, for this team. And that would be not just on John Schneider. I would think that would be on Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro as well. That hasn't happened, so we will not blame anybody yet. However, in the first game, I actually praised John Schneider on Twitter for not going to Nate Pearson. That was a close game. He brought in a lefty with Meza to attack the lefty, got that out, went to Yimi Garcia, which is fine. He's got the seniority. He's got the track record, better than Pearson's at this point. And then Swanson, which, okay, he's our eighth guy, absolutely no problem with that, then Romano. So I'm glad that he did not, and I praised him for that, for not going to Pearson. Game 2, Kevin Gossman is amazing. We go back to Swanson. We go back to Romano. No problems with either of those first two games in the situation and how they played out. Now, Game 3 is a completely different story. You've now used up Romano. You've now used up Swanson. We know we're not going to see either of those guys. Chris Bassett is removed in the 5th inning. We now have 4 innings to go through, and our 2 most reliable top arms are out of the equation. So Schneider chose to go with Trevor Richards, Anthony Bass, and Yimi Garcia, and then Zach Pop. I find that, again, telling, and I find it makes me uncomfortable. That's not a good word to use, but that's the feeling I got. Because the fact that he thinks Anthony Bass, Trevor Richards, who's pitched very well lately, I'll give him that credit, and even Zach Pop, that he thinks either 3 of those guys. Let's leave Zach Pop out of it for a moment. Let's just say Trevor Richards and especially Anthony Bass, that he thought those 2 arms were more dependable, more reliable in that moment, both of them giving up runs, were better than Nate Pearson. Better risk than Nate Pearson. Forget better than Nate Pearson. Just a better risk than Nate Pearson in that game. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to feel about that. I feel like I would like somebody like Shai Davidi, or Ben Nicholson Smith. I don't know if I said his name right. One of these guys to press John Schneider on this. Why? I would like to know, why did you not go to Nate Pearson? I want to know his feelings, because it tells me he has a real distrust level for Pearson. In what space would you not bring him in that game? Is he going to be a mop-up in garbage innings? Is that how we're looking at him? Is he similar to Cito Gaston in the sense that Cito got dogged a lot for his preference for his veterans over young players, and deservedly so. Is that going on here? He's going to what he knows, whether they're reliable or not, over something more unknown in Nate Pearson? I don't understand it. I don't understand the move. And let's say he throws him twice in the Red Sox series. Fine. But why not here? Why was the level of distrust so high he couldn't be thrown in this situation? He has elite stuff. He knocked the first batter he faced in his first outing and then got through it fine. What does that say to him? I'm just really worried this means a send down of Nate Pearson is coming. And I think it would just be awful. And I'm a guy on Twitter, so what do I know? They're the experts, they know better. But something, I want to know his mindset, and I want one of these Keegan Masson, I want one of these people to press him on it. Why not Nate Pearson? Where was he? Why are you not comfortable with him in that situation? And instead, Anthony Bass? Anthony Bass? Even Trevor Richards, Zach Pop. I don't think any of these guys, any of the four relievers, Jimmy Garcia, I don't think any of them are better than Nate Pearson. Now, I understand why he went to Yimmy. It's fine. I can even understand why he'd go to Zach Pop. But why Nate Pearson did not appear in the 6th or the 7th inning boggles my mind. And it also worries my mind. Anyway, that's the rant I wanted to get out. Jays lose. We still had a great 5-1 homestand. Nothing to be down about. And I'm not ready to go all in on John Schneider's choices are awful, but he's made some awful bullpen choices, I believe, to this date. So I'm not there yet. As you know, I like to slowly ease. I like to give my time. I like to make sure. I like to, hopefully he learns a lesson. And if he doesn't, then I'm ready to jump all over him. But this was not a good move. This was, to me. Anyway, that's all. Boston tomorrow in Boston. I will see you then.